I'm sitting on my couch at 11:15 last night having a wine with Lise, and I said to her, "That's an earthquake."
I know.
Just then.
I know.
She said, "Oh, that happens to me quite regularly." You get that sort of
No,
same feeling. Like, that's a regular thing for me. Fat. Welcome to you. Welcome to Damo in just a sec, coming in talking footy.
Yeah.
Justin Langer back in.
Oh.
We talked to him about the World Chess Championship in England coming up next week.
Yep.
And also I see topics brownless.
Yes,
which
please.
worries me on a Monday as I say hello to you.
Epicenter was out at Sunbury.
Sunbury.
It's done $100,000 worth of improvements.
Oh, bang!
Sorry, Sam. Sam, that was one of Sam's great ones.
He did like
He
going
did
with
like that
yes,
one.
he
But
did.
no, it moved for me. I was in bed, Jim, and I couldn't believe it.
No.
I thought I fell out of bed or something, started something.
Even down in Hobart, they registered.
There was a bit of noise. What about your good self, Rabsy?
We're just going to assess the situation here at Old Trafford. 35 for 3. We're going to take a break. Back with hopefully some highlights after this. I'm getting round.
Jeffrey Robert.
2 up.
He's not going over with you this time,
he
is he?
can't be. Not allowed.
No, not allowed.
Not allowed anywhere near an open mic.
JL is, and we'll talk to you.
JL, yes, looking forward to that.
Okay, now we got a new sponsor.
Yes, we do, but not for this segment. But they'll be on board all week. Bunnings Warehouse have jumped on
So we haven't got a sponsor for rap.
for a couple of days this week.
Now on Triple M's Rush Hour,
Time now, but for a
it's Billy's All Sports Report. For some great tax time deals and tips, check out the latest Bunnings catalogue in store or online.
Maybe for today as well.
Oh, we have.
Hello,
Well
there
done,
we are.
Bunnings. Welcome. The MRO decisions are out, Jimmy, and we have,
We've got Damo coming in.
I know, 3 appeals. First one is Carlton challenging Adam Chera. That's the first. And then Luke Parker also for his tackle on Sam Walsh. There's another appeal. And then Freo's Jaeger O'Meara is also.
Let's call him Yaya.
Jaeger.
Jaeger.
The Hawks have accepted Sicily's 1 weeker. What about his game, by the way?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
42, didn't he have?
42 at centre half back.
Ridiculous.
And Damo will tell us about Dane Zorko. There was interesting tackle on the peddler.
Saw that, yep.
Carlton Football Club have accepted the resignation of director Craig Matheson.
Why are we doing this? We've got Damo in next
I'm just
to do
giving,
a whole lot of
Well,
footy.
he didn't want to do that.
Oh, I see.
I'll tell you what you can't have is not a good look if there's a bit of a Barney going on in the rooms, Jim. That is not
No,
good.
if directors are,
Yes,
you got to be,
exactly.
you got to jump on that pretty
which
quick.
they have.
Yep.
Rugby league.
Rugby League.
Latrell Mitchell has been ruled out of game 1. Latrell Mitchell, he's a star, Jim.
Right, yes.
He's out. And another injury scare. Nathan Cleary is in doubt with a tooth infection. Come on, Nath.
You got to play with a tooth
Oh,
infection.
surely not. He's a superstar. He'll play with that.
Yep.
Oh, we've got some soccer here. Leicester City, Jim.
I know.
They won the Premiership in 2016.
Oh, what sort of nick is he in?
They won
this
it.
is not.
He's not.
They have been relegated, Jimmy boy. They have been relegated. They're out. But some very good news here.
Oh, go on.
Lupton Town.
No.
What's it called?
Luton Town.
Luton Town.
Where's the
Lupton.
B?
Lupton.
no
Luton Town, or the town as they like to be called, or the Hatters.
Yes.
What about their through? They reckon it could be worth $322 million to them. Luton
Well, I
Town.
could maybe add a few seats to the stand.
Have you seen their stand?
10,000 people.
That's all it holds. 10,000 people. But also, there's a gate, and because it's surrounded by houses. 2 old townhouses they bought, the club bought, and they've made an entry gate.
Yes.
They have. So you walk through the house, you walk through the backyard, and you get into the stadium.
That's how you get
Is
in.
that it? Is that right?
Basically, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought. Sam Kerr's been a star. She scored twice. There, she has won the Women's Player of the Year. Ange Postecoglou.
Oh, my God. This is the worst start to a show.
Ange Postecoglou has won 5-0. So guess what? They have won the title again over there. He's a star. Have a listen to his speech. This is great stuff by Ange.
We're champions again because of this incredible group of players, brilliantly led by our skipper, Callum McGregor. Champions again because of this unbelievable group of people working behind the scenes, the staff. Outstanding. Champions again because of you. Champions again because I am a lucky man.
Oh, Ange, I like it. Well done. Hey, that was good. Hey, the Vixens got beaten. Collingwood got beaten. And what about this game in the NBA? Did you see this, Jim?
I saw the result. I didn't see any.
They won 102-100, but they got the two-pointer with 1 second to go, Boston. So now it goes to Boston, Game 7. They should win that. They go through the playoffs. That is unbelievable.
Well, that would mean that the two best teams are in the
That's right.
final. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Denver and
that's
Boston
what you want.
First time ever a team has come from zip and 3 down
in a championship final.
in a
Yep.
championship final. That's not bad.
That's good.
And we'll talk about the ICC World Test Championship coming up. When is that? You take off Sunday.
Sunday, game starts next Wednesday.
We'll talk to JL about that if we
Righto.
get around to it. We've got other stuff to talk to him about. But there you go. There's
he's
a
right of the
magnificent
ship.
rap.
What the
Marginally.
hell? What was that?
Very good rap.
Don't reckon
Very
it
good.
was.
No,
Anyway,
it was.
let's get Damo in and we can straighten things up a touch.
Welcome aboard, Bunnings.
Welcome, Damo.
Hello, Jim and
Damien?
Bill and Rubsy.
Again, the focus is on the Carlton football
Yeah,
club
there's
as
just
we
new
start
lays.
a week.
Yeah, new lays to it each week, aren't there? And this one is an off-field one as much as it is an on-field one. So, as you've probably caught up with, Craig Matheson, long-time board member of the Carlton Footy Club, found himself in a disagreement with Luke Sayers post-match on Friday night, the game you were covering, Jim, and in Sydney when they lost another game of footy. And it's had a ramification today where he has stood down and his resignation has been accepted. He was out.
What was it? What kind of
It was-
altercation was it?
From what I've been told, Bill, and again, as always, these things have different versions of events, but it was basically some disgruntlement around how the team was playing.
Heated?
Yeah, in the context of
With players around? Or
no, the way again, other people may have different versions of this. I was told the players weren't actually privy to the heightened sense of the disagreement, but that doesn't mean other people at the footy club weren't. And it's not ideal, Jim. I mean, you've run a footy club and you know what board members are like at certain points in time. And I've never known a footy club, certainly in AFL land, to never have a board that doesn't think it knows more than the coach at certain points of stress. And I'd imagine that was a subject of
Yeah,
it.
but after the game, directors are to be seen and not heard. There's no place for a director to be, if that's what he did, to be running off at the mouth about what's just happened on the field.
Now, Craig's his own.
Nothing's no good comes of that.
Yeah, Craig's his own man, but he is the nephew of Bruce Matheson, who has pumped in pokie machines, and money is attached to it.
Still is?
Yeah, they've still got the connections to it, as far as I can tell, Bill. Yeah. Now again, that's a business transaction. I'm assuming Bruce has made some good money on that business transaction as well. But yeah, I mean, it's the name again that was only a month ago publicly prepared to slag off at certain people in the footy club. And I'll tell you what, Brian Cook obviously felt he was coming into that club a couple of seasons ago, not to just have his farewell to football, but there's no way he thought what was about to unfold was on his doorstep, because it's a mess. And as we know, the last 7 weeks have only seen one win against West Coast, and the win prior to that was against North Melbourne.
And the timing of the chairman heading overseas, if that is in fact happening, you are more than entitled to go overseas.
Absolutely.
But you don't want it to happen right when, the flames are licking you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no fault of his, and apparently, if it is happening, there's family reasons for it.
Yeah, there are
but
family reasons,
It's just one of those ones where you can be stung by timing.
Well, we know some media narratives around that, would have that as a World War III, wouldn't they, at certain points in time? So yeah, I'm not massive on that as much as some
No,
people
I'm not
maybe,
either.
Jim.
He's
Yeah,
more
no, but I
than
think it's a
entitled to
valid
do it.
argument right now. Yeah, the club is hemorrhaging at all levels, and look, we discussed it on Saturday, on the Saturday Rub, that the conversations, just phone call wise, post match Friday night and again Saturday morning, they're ramping up to a point where something will break, and it has broken, so to speak, in terms of Matheson coming off. So, Bill, you touched on the match review office decisions.
3 appeals.
Yeah, so Luke Park, Jago O'Meara, Adam Chira, as you said, all taking on dangerous tackle suspensions.
What are they doing, Damian?
They are taking on the tackle.
Appealing?
They are appealing. I laugh when you do that in the first segment. I didn't think it was that funny to back over it, though. No.
Because it wasn't that funny.
Dane Zorko.
As we speak, and as you know, we're live on this show. We don't yet know what the match review office may do. Look, I watched it on TV, and I did see a hand around the eye of Pedler. Now, he seemed to quickly stop doing what he was doing, and I didn't have much of a reaction beyond that. I did rewind it just to see to check what I saw. So it's not ideal, but I think he checked himself just enough time to maybe get away with something that could have been nasty.
I had no inkling at all to try and do that when you played footy.
Doesn't make sense. No.
Never come into your mind.
Now, there's a white line fever component to Dane that he's utilised really, really well to be a really good player, a 4-time best and fairest winner, All-Australian. Still a leader despite not having a C next to his name, but there's also been some moments, and again, I don't want to put this one in just yet, but there's been some moments that he'd like back, I think, over the journey.
So I think I'm right in saying that there have been 26 suspensions this year, and 17 of them have been the dangerous tackle.
Yeah.
So it's got to get through to the players at some stage that you've just got to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Even getting close to it.
And I've been really critical, as I think we all have, and you have, Jim, too, on the constant narrative and messaging from the match review into the tribunal.
Yep.
I've got to give them full ticks for this one this year on the isolation of the dangerous tackle. I don't think there's any confusion or ambiguity now on what is and what isn't, and I think there are in other parts of the game. But I'd be surprised on what we've seen this year if any of those three were to get off.
Yes.
Now, we know they also throw a curveball in. Just before we move on to some positives, Jim, Mark McGowan resigning from the state parliamentary system in WA.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Is that what he... I thought it was it ran itself over there, didn't it?
Well, he's got 47 seats out of the 59 seat chamber. So
I thought that was a state that pretty much ran itself.
Seemed to.
He can just stay
let's
there.
hope it's catching.
Well, what are you saying, Jim?
Let's hope
Well, Luke Darcy had some strong words on the premier of this state.
Others
on Friday
around
night.
think that might be a good idea and follow suit. Now, Purple. Positives, where are you starting? Because there were lots.
It's hard to not start with James Sicily in what he did on the game Triple M called on Saturday, captain of Hawthorn playing against St Kilda. The 43 touches he had and the way he controlled it. And I mean, again, you brought it to our listeners as it happened. But to put in context of one of the games of the season, we came off round 10. We thought Zach Butters may have that mantle. Well, I think there'll be enough people now to say that James Sicily, and just again, for those who haven't caught up, he has been also match review officer assessed to have hit Caminiti in a way that's going to keep him out for a game against Port Adelaide this week, and he and his club have accepted that. But yeah, fantastic performance from
40 possessions at centre half back.
42, wasn't it?
Ridiculous.
Sorry. 42. Well done to the Hawks too on the back of that, of course.
Yeah, coming off the 116 win against West Coast, and then kicking the last 5 goals against the Saints. Look, Jordan De Goey is putting together some sort of season. You do weight what you think of around a footy, dependent upon who a team plays. And when Collingwood plays North Melbourne, you do factor that in. But yet again, he's got himself in not just the Collingwood best players, but best on the ground.
Bill's
and
taking responsibility for his season. He ran into him at a pub and Bill dagged him.
Yep.
But Bill basically dried him for about an hour.
Got him to sign a couple of things.
Yeah. Geordie was trying to mind his own business, and every time he turned around, Bill was there with,
He loved it.
Now Bill's claiming his season.
Which was this establishment, Bill?
No, this was a house party.
Oh, house party.
We were in the house. Yes.
Having a few prees, were you?
We were prees before we went out.
Where'd you go out after that?
We like to go to places. I'm trying to find the Brownlow.
He's having a cracking season, no doubt about it.
He's third or fourth in the Brownlow.
Is he that high? Is he? Yeah, I think he deserves to be. Yeah.
Nick Dacos.
Yep.
The Bond.
Bond will be there.
Petrarca.
Butters will be there.
Then Geordie.
And it's a full credit to him, isn't it, given what he's been through and how he's had to work through all of that. Adelaide Crows too, just collectively, but again, the usual names aren't there. Jordan Dawson, Rory Laird, Rankin is putting together a nice season, isn't he? And the points of difference that both he and Rochelle offer, Bill, I mean, you know the way finals systems work in the AFL system, and you've got to have a point of difference if you're going to go the whole way, don't you? Just to get through the final series, and you can be conservative, you can be consistent, and they are that when they look good, but they've got some real sizzle up there.
Star factor about them. They kick goals when needed, and those two can.
They do.
Stay positive, Purple.
We will. We'll go to Gold Coast and Matty Rell's performance going head-to-head against Marcus Bontempelli, and particularly when the game had to be won, Bill, in the third and fourth quarters, he more than held his own. And Bont was still good for the Bulldogs, which he always is, but it was you'd like to hope it's a changing of the fortune type of result for the Gold Coast Suns. We've talked about that before. We haven't seen it backed up, and they've got the Crows up there again. They're staying the week in Darwin. So if they do back it up, I think we'll have reason to stand up and take notice. If
they love those conditions.
Any
time that it's hot and wet, they just love it.
Yeah.
It worked for them.
It was good. And look, I'm not one to feel umpires have an adverse effect on outcomes as a rule, but they didn't work in their favour in that particular game, was my observation on that particularly late. But they weathered all of that. And there's a guy by the name of Bailey Humphrey, Bill, who other people have been saying for a long time now, don't discount him in this already high-end race for the Rising Star. Now, we've seen that Ashcroft is leading that, and then Sheasel's had his moments. And from last year where Mitch Owens had played a couple of games of footy last year, still qualifying for this year's Rising Star, but he's doing enough now to put himself right in with a half a season remaining. It's a good race.
Yeah, it was a great goal. Wasn't it? Yeah. And boy, from Mo, he's done well.
Yeah, you were mentioning Toby in the ad break, Bill. You were talking about Geordie De Gale having a few beers.
Yeah, there's Toby.
Did you catch up with him on the weekend somewhere as well? Because he's also in the positives of what he did against the Cats with his 4 first half goals, leading the GWS team to a good win.
He was sensational. Caught up with him for a little frothy at the Wolf Shed.
Pay up.
I had a bet on air, $500.
You had a bet on air.
Yeah, with Toby.
I didn't catch up
with
Geelong
and the Giants, so you'd reckon, I thought that was a pretty good bet. Bloody Giants win, so he can get stuff. But
he handed 500 crisp ones, 5 crisp ones over.
Yeah.
To Toby.
Yeah.
I don't think you had a bet on footy. I don't think this happened, actually.
Well, it happened on the bar, so someone
I don't think it was Toby who did that.
It was his girlfriend, Georgia, come over and grab the money.
She can have the bet. Yeah, I don't think Toby can.
Georgia come over and grab the money.
That's how it would have happened, I think, Bill. Yeah.
Or can I get the money back then?
Yes.
Yes. But if he played...
If the integrity officers are listening to this, it didn't happen, okay? Yeah.
If he played for a Collingwood or a Melbourne or a big club, he could be an absolute superstar, wouldn't he?
He is anyway.
You're right. Look, the reception that he gets, you would love to see him play regularly, as Collingwood players do, in front of 80, 75,000. You would love to see it. But he's also equally been, I think, instrumental in that club, and the loyalty shown is immense. Luke Jackson, Jim, I know you're a massive fan, and game number 63 for him was the one he played on the weekend against Melbourne, his old team, and if game 30 was the most important game he played prior to that, and that was the grand final of 2021, this was the most complete game, wasn't it? So he's a huge effort there. And again, we've said it now for a month. Brayshaw and Sarong, beneath the best players.
No, they are both very, very good at what they do. And I must admit, I wasn't surprised by that result at all. Freo, when they get up and running, are a bloody tough opponent.
Hayden Young just tracking beautifully now. High-end draft pick many years ago, but going beautifully. And Jaguar Ramirez really now found his form inside that midfield operations. And just a quick one before we move on to the negatives. Nick Blakey, just what he did Friday night. I know we talked about it Saturday, but
slithered through.
He's been good in a couple of really good signs.
He was going too quick there at one stage. He was actually feet were going too quick, and he got through.
He lost his tail.
He lost
and he started. The back end got a bit wobbly because the tail had come off.
Is that what it was?
He's a star. And not right either.
No.
Chatted to him afterwards. He's not right.
And we spoke to another bloke that's not right.
Justin McInerney.
He was good content, wasn't he?
He was good.
Yeah. Hope he gets back to Sydney safely.
And the trash.
The little trash panda.
They're not
chucking
right.
stuff. They're not right. There's something wrong with them, actually.
I like it. Cats, 0-3 to start the year, then 5-0 in the next 5 matches, and then now 0-3 again, Bill.
And then they win the next 5.
Not since 2006, so they lost 4 in a row. There's problems.
Who you got this week?
They got to play Western Bulldogs at Marvel.
That won't be an easy.
Then they got Melbourne. Then they got Port. So they're in a bit of trouble. They got to win. Got to get the midfield. Some semblance of something in the midfield there. Even Reece Stanley would be good. You need Danger in there. You need Cameron Guthrie in there.
And Mitchie Duncan, who's out again. I know he plays forward a bit as well. But I'd be surprised if they brought Dangerfield back for this game because of the fact that there's a bye the next week. And the plan, at least in the backs of their minds, was to do what they did last year with him, to give him all that period of time to then relaunch. But they don't have the luxury as they did this time last year to have wins on the board to do it. So
spot on. And then Sava went down. He's probably been
a big loss, isn't he?
Best defender.
Yep.
Just one of those years when you get injuries after injuries. So anyway, and by the way, the Giants had some injuries. So that was a bloody good win by them.
They did have some injuries. Yeah, obviously Kelly going down late, Himmelberg not being part of it, Taylor being out already, and Haynes also not part of it. So I think that evened itself out. Saints, the shine's gone off the Saints, hasn't it? Naturally enough, and 7-4, I think they'd still take that, but it's not the 5-0 start they had to the season. So it's Yeah, a few worrying signs there. We've touched on Carlton off-field as well as on-field, but the only win they've now had in the last 7 weeks is against West Coast. The one prior to that was a battle against North Melbourne. So they're the two teams sitting last and second last on the ladder.
Can't score with those two big boys, isn't it?
Mm.
Can't score
You got
goals.
a solution for them?
Connection.
Connection?
Connection.
A conduit.
And I was disappointed in Brisbane Lions yesterday. Again, they will be happy with how they've managed to open their season just with the 3 losses to this point. But when they do lose, the focus goes on Eric Hipwood, doesn't it? And Joe Danaher. Now, Joe Danaher still kicked 2 goals. Hipwood didn't. But, they can be pulled apart, and that will be of concern for Chris Fagan.
What about players playing for free kicks? That's coming into our game, which no one likes.
Flopping.
Don't like it, yeah. And it's hard on the umpires, isn't it? The way, because the ones in question, Bill, Max King went to ground and got a 50-metre penalty as a result of it.
He got 2 50s.
Yeah. I think the second one, maybe more so, but the first one was very questionable. And then Cody Waitman also got a free kick late in the game, which nearly allowed the Dogs to steal that game. And again, if the umpire was to look back on that, he'd be not paying
I told you on Saturday, it's the line-up outside of nightclub. That's the rule.
I don't mind this theory if you've got.
If the push is
The
not
bouncer.
significant enough to take you to ground, if you're lining up outside a pub,
Yep.
then it shouldn't be a 50.
No, I like
Simple as that.
it. No. But the problem is the free kicks because they throw the head back and all that. That's what Cody did. So
Just as I go, there's some hope that finally there could be resolution on the Hawthorn racism situation this week. Yeah, I know.
This week?
There was hope last week, from what I've been told from an AFL perspective, to at least get the statement out publicly. And as you know, Jim, I've got a strong view that it then, in some ways, only starts the legal processes that will then be undertaken by various people attached to it, both seeking recourse and also having to defend themselves from other issues. But from an AFL perspective, they spent the best part of the entire week last week and the weekend trying to get something at least out there publicly, just to allow the people involved to at least have a position to work either with or backwards from. And hopefully by Friday that could be the case.
Let us hope. Great to see you. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Jim. No buses this week. No, we've already got to open there in WA with Perth, and they're going to stay there for the rest of the year, I think. Yep.
Cool.
In civvies.
In civvies.
What is this phone?
No, we don't know.
we're not sure.
Bill's just come up with it and just seen what's
There's a
come
couple
through.
of
A couple of weird, different.
Yeah, different
angles?
interpretations.
Interpretations.
All right,
is the
Gav's
word.
in Avalon. Hello, Gav.
Hey, Des got it. Gav.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that the earthquake certainly hit down here in Geelong, actually. You'll notice that Cardinia Park on Saturday knocked all the seats out of that shithole.
Todd,
Give
you
that look a
dick.
picture on the weekend, Bill. What a beautiful sight. It looks like they're playing at the local skate park down there. And what a performance by your boys, too. Sam de Koning was so embarrassed he couldn't show his face. And how cowardly fat. Oh, Billy Gutless. You didn't want to front up on air, bet 500 with Toby Green on the show, despite the Giants paying 20-1. But then knowing you'll probably turn up for the Giants reunion for that win next year. Then also, while I've got your ridiculous acronyms, how is that ad still on radio? I keep hearing it rolling around. It reflects poorly on Ringwood Mazda, but especially you, Bill. Your brand is terminal. I've got one more acronym for you.
What?
GUOBYFS.
What is
Give
it?
up on broadcasting, you fat smack.
And he's gone. Wasn't bad, that one.
Up on
Wasn't bad, that one.
broadcasting, you fat smack.
Fat smack. He can't say that.
Oh,
Look, he's gone.
How
See?
good is he? He is
Give
the
up
best.
on broadcasting, you fat smack. Oh, jeez. Come on, Todd. All right, we're going to find a prize.
I'm sorry, he is the best ever.
Got to get you in a green apron.
Just get in there for the best deals. They'll beat anyone by 10%.
All right.
They still do that?
Yeah.
Good.
So, joke.
It was like when I went to Bunnings, I should have told that one, but I did last week, remember? Bloke said,
No one knows what he's saying now.
I was in a
This
Bunnings.
is
The bloke came
rambling
up to me and
words.
said, you look like you need decking. But I got in there, Jim. I got in there first.
Oh, my God.
That was because of our friends at Bunnings.
So, here we go.
Righto, lucky I'm bilingual too, Jim. You know what that means? Jim?
Yes, I know what that means.
What does it mean?
It means you can speak 2 languages.
That's it, because I've got a German joke.
Oh, no. This is not good.
What is the German word for bra?
What?
Stop 'em from flopping. Jim. What? Look at him. He doesn't know. Apparently it is. I don't know.
You just heard that.
I just heard that.
And good thing you're bilingual.
Stop them from
Yeah, no, I get it.
Bit of a Greek or Italian.
I tell you, I cannot get on the plane to London quick enough.
Oh, you got another week of this, Jim.
I
You
know.
got another
I've got
four.
4.
Righto,
4
Grabs.
and then we're done.
No, you're back.
No! Someone from the band!
Look at him claiming that.
Someone sent it to me.
Did they?
No, I make them up.
Do you make them up?
On my way into work, I make them up.
All right.
Might
Another
do it.
disappointing show comes to an end.